So this would be a modular array for a tidal flow generation device. What you've got is a hexagonal pattern on the top. You can array that out, and it's a set of floats, just like your fish farm floats, and it's tied to the bottom via a bunch of anchors. You see these blue lines here. They'd be arrayed on the bottom, just as the centers of the floats above, and floated over the blue lines, either with the blue lines twisting or set on a swivel point there, a bearing at the bottom. You've got these rings. The rings are slightly coned, so it's a bit like chopped windsocks turned back to front. And on each ring, on each bit of cone, you've got a blade, sharp and fast at the top, because you want that speed. It's in a bit faster flow at the top, right, enough to match the speed at the bottom, so the rotation's similar. However, you'll get torque transferred all the way up. You know, if the bottom is faster, that's great. So you pack a fairly large volume with these. As you can see an awful lot of generator there in that sort of in that area in the flow there, and it just floats freely. So as the tide changes, I'll leave that, it would tighten up on the other side and pull out that way. Again, we can change the tide out this way, pass it back the other way. Now on top, what you'd have, you've got the grid, and in the center of each grid you have, say, either a shaft coming up or turning a wheel from the rotating last to the top one of these cones below. So you'd either take top cone to turn a small point here, take lines off of that so it keeps fairly well expanded, set it against the tensed anchor line, the blue line there, just as I've done with torque ladders and kite demonstrations in the past. Now once you've got a spinning wheel on that plane, you can gang these together towards your central point. So each one of these could be feeding, so you could keep this whole loop spinning, and that layer would go into here. It's probably easier to feed directly in, and you know, take the extra ones on each level as they go. These ones would all go directly in. This would take this one and maybe that one. That would take that one and that one. That would take that one and that one. So it becomes fairly self-running. Looks like there's plenty of redundancy in it. If you've got clutches at the top and stuff, even if one does snag or get covered in seaweed or something, you can take it out, clean it up, slap it back in. You'd be able to attach different ring sets on the anchors. You'd be able to modularly put them up and down, take one line out of action, disconnect it from the set. As long as you're clutching your linkages there, you could have one large generator in the middle up on top.